What's happening, everybody? It's your man Flexx, back at it again with another dope video topic. I know I got a black fit on, about to hit the gym, you know what I mean? So it's perfectly fitting for the topic that we about to talk about today. You know what it is, another body game topic, right? Before we get into it, shout out to all the new subscribers. Thank you all so much for joining this channel. I'm very humble and blessed to have you join here. Shout out to all the older recurring subscribers as well. Thank y'all so much for keeping this channel alive and going. You know how we do it. You know how we get down. We talk about real shit over here, right? So, body game, right? Listen, body game is enough, more than enough, to pull a woman and at least get their attention, right? Throw on top of that some aura, some aura, some confidence, a dope personality with charisma. Oh man, you killing it, right? You killing the game, right? But body game alone, honestly, and I've said this a couple times, right, in my other videos about body game, but body game alone is that is enough to really get a woman to where, you know, that's kind of like, honestly, I should say, that's a form of shooting your shot, really. You know, that's something that you got in your arsenal. You know, you approach a woman and your body on point. I mean, yeah, she can still say no, but yeah, let's be for real, right? You build the confidence to build that type of body. What do it matter what a woman say to you, right? You leave it be, you let her go on by her day. You ain't gonna trip, because it ain't, you know, look, you should not feel some type of way with the body that you have. You should have the confidence to not be scared to approach women, right? And if they say no, you keep it moving. You be like, all right, well, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your evening. Or they got a boyfriend, you let it be. Ain't no need to be disrespectful for her, none of that. Because, you know, you got a certain type of body, man. You in a different upper echelon of man, right? That's truly confident, right? That's kind of another topic, but either way, they gonna look. You gonna get their attention. Like you got your body on point, and body game really is just. A side note, body game is really just about getting your body right for you, and I've said that before. But getting your body right for you, finding the right body type for you, because we all have different kinds of body types, right? Everybody's peak isn't the same. You know what I mean? Everybody's body formation is not the same, right? So progression may look different than another person. You got to find out what works for you and stay consistent and keep going for you, right? Not what everybody else doing. It ain't a one size fits all. It ain't a one body type, you know, size that fits all, that fits all women's taste. That ain't true, right? Every woman got different type of body types that they like. But all in all, the body is going to be like a magnet for a lot of women, right? Bait. You can use the term bait, you know, or the hook, or shit. All in all, everything, the magnet, the bait, the hook, everything. It's gonna get that woman looking at you, right? You're gonna start seeing, when you get your body to a certain level, right, you start to pretty much get choosing signals. You start to notice women looking at you now at that point, right? And a lot of dudes be like, no, it's about the face and then this and that. Look, man, a lot of dudes get hung up on the face, but let's just be for real, y'all, okay? Number one, the face is something that you can't really control. Now, you can, keeping your skin groomed, mouth taping, even to where you have, you know, mouth taping is something that you can do to ensure that, you know, you're not being a mouth breather, right? Which is kind of making you have a double chin, not as sharp of a jawline. You could do things like that, right? And like I said, having a skincare routine for sure. That's a big thing, right? Making sure you know, getting rid of your pimples, you know, making sure you getting a fresh lineup if you still got hair. I just prefer the bald. But you get what I'm saying, right? Like, You got to do what works for you. That's about the most that you can do as it pertains to your face, right? But the body could be the body can always be transformed, right? Like, and it's kind of at a scope of on a broader scale. Like you can do a lot with your body, losing that belly fat, right? Filling out your shirts, right? Making sure that you look like you are capable of picking somebody up, picking shorty up if she want to be picked up, right? But that's where the legs come in. You can't be missing them legs. Do them leg days, right? But the point I'm making is that you want to be able to control that type of, you can control that. You can control the ability to be able to lose weight, build muscle, right? And a woman can tell that shit. As soon as she look at you, like your body can be on point to the point where shorties is looking at you at the gym left and right, to the point where you pretty much know, I don't know what this girl doing. She being too nosy looking at me making this video. That's why I'm kind of looking over there. God dang. Your body to the point, you get your body to the point where women are looking at you. Different kinds of women, about 3 or 4 different women looking at you at the gym. Now you got your pick of litter of who to approach. And here's the thing. They may all be like, reject your ass. But so what? And I don't even really prefer approaching women at the gym. I don't personally. I've done it. And I would honestly say that a good number of times, yeah, like I've had interaction with them, or, got a number, or Instagram or something like that, right? And it was cool. We would keep talking to one another, talking to each other, like, so yeah, I would say that, but I prefer not to shit while I sleep. I kind of that, or prefer go to different gyms, about 3 or 4 different of the same gyms, like 3 or 4 LA Fitnesses in the area. Like, I prefer something like that, right? But you get to a point where it's kind of easy. That's your resume. That's your car. That's your business card. That's your resume. They see it in full front. They see it. They see the body, and they're intrigued. They like what they look at, and they like it on a primal level, right? And it's to a point where, like I said, it's kind of like, you throw on top of that charisma, a certain type of confidence that you have within your arsenal, and in your walk, the way you talk, you know what I mean? It does a lot, right? And I'll even go in a deeper level, and I've talked about this when it comes to the differences between like a dude with money and money and status, and a dude with the body on point, right? And men saying all the time that, yeah, it's about it's about the face, or it's about the money. Definitely the money and status. That's gonna always get a woman. Look, ain't no doubt that money and status gets a woman. I've said this many different times, right? But I've also said that just because you got money and status don't mean that that's enough to keep a woman. In fact, there are a lot of times, and listen, when you get into the different circles of men that got a lot of money, and they deal with these fine baddies, these women that only with them for their money, the moment this woman see a dude with a body that she liked, the physique that she liked, she gonna be looking at his ass, right? She gonna be looking at his ass, and dude with the money gonna be like, what the fuck you looking at? What you, why you, oh, that's your type, man. Like, bro, I done seen conversations of dudes with money, with a fine shorty. She see a dude come in the bar or restaurant, and she looking his way. Don't let him be able to dress too with a nice body. Man, listen. And that's a deflation on the dude's ego that got the money for real. You know what I'm saying? Like a dude with a body can walk down the street outside in public and get stares and get women approaching him, touching him, caressing him, regardless of whether she married or not. Regardless of whether she is married or not. I done sat down, and I try not to give y'all too many stories about myself, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm talking about myself all the time. I don't really, that's why I try to use other examples, but like, you know, they have women touch and caress my arm. I remember, man, this is another fucking story. Here go another story. Man, because I done worked in different industries, so I got stories, y'all, that are true though, right? I remember one time I was working security, right? I used to be a bouncer at a club, okay? And I remember getting into it. It was like, it wasn't just me, but it was an altercation that happened, right, with this dude. It was a dead shift, low key too. You know what I mean? It wasn't even really a lot going on. But this dude, he was drunk or whatever, and I guess he had his wife with him or something. I don't even really know, right? Yeah, I think that was his wife. But either way, it was one of my colleagues, another security guard, right? Another security dude bouncer, got into it with the dude, with the husband, the whatever, right? So, and he was kind of the dude that got into it with the husband that was already drunk. The other security guard, he kind of was one of them security guards that I ain't really like working with. He was a hothead. Anyways, we all, but me and these other two security guards, there's about 10 of us working that night. There's other two security guards, we go to help the altercation, right? And we even get the lead security guard dude, right? And anyways, long story short, I just remember we kind of getting into it with one another, and the dude, he kind of like start getting a little butt with me a little bit. I start kind of getting butt with him back, this and that. And I remember I remember the wife, when the dude started getting butt with me, right? And I started coming back at him. The wife was like, well, hold on. Let's not mess with him. Let's not mess with him. She was talking about me, like, let's not mess with me, like, type shit, right? That's what the wife was saying. Something from what I remember. And then she even, I kid y'all not, y'all. I wish some of these things could have been filmed so I could show y'all, but she started grabbing my arm, my right bicep, like a little bit, kind of like, and touching it. And he says out of his mouth, he's like, what you doing touching him? What you doing touching his arm? Why are you touching his arms? Like, yo. I started, bro, and I won't laughing at the time because I was still kind of like heated a little bit, but I kind of was thrown off. I'm like, yo, why the fuck are you touching my arm like that? You know what I mean? This might have been back when I was like in my mid-20s probably. I think I was like, or either I was still living in North Carolina. This was before I moved out to LA. This was before I moved to LA, right? But I'm like, bro, that shit was weird. And I could tell he kind of got heated. He got kind of mad about that. But then it kind of like, it kind of shifted back to the energy kind of shifted back to the original person that got into the altercation with the drunk husband dude, right? But all of that to say, bro, listen, man, when your body is on a level to where like women lust after, they gonna show you. They're not gonna be able to control that. Like, and I've dealt with it in many different levels, many different ways since I was like in high school, right? Like my body started filling out when I was in high school. So sometimes people have the genetics in that way, but you can always form that body a certain way no matter what your age is, right? That works for you. The biggest thing is that it hits them on a primal level to where they can't really, it's uncontrollable, right? And that's why I always say, you know, but I had to give y'all that story because I just thought about that story. It's crazy how it came to my mind, but it was insane, right? Even to the point where security manager dude talked to me the day after. He was like, yo, did the wife touch you on your arm? Like, did she in front of her husband? And I'm like, bro, I know I won't trip, and didn't she, right? I'm like, bro, that's crazy. But that's why I always tell y'all, discipline and playing the long game is very important when it comes to building your body. It's not about motivation and getting these short bursts of motivation to work out. No, it's about consistency and discipline, right? And knowing the long game. Playing the long game is basically understanding that, you know, this is a marathon, not a sprint, right? And that means you work out even when you don't feel like it. You put your nutrition, you eat the right things in your body, put the right things in your body, let go of the sweets and the sugar and the sodas, even when you don't want to, even when you have a taste for it, even when you craving it, right? You craving to sit on the couch and not go to the gym. You craving to come home straight from work instead of going to walk, you know, a couple miles, you know, and also understanding that it's about slow progressions, not perfection, because it's easy to get discouraged when you are not where you want to be and it seems like it's taking longer than what you want, and it's easy to give up. It just is, right? Like a lot of things in life that take time, but you have to have the discipline and foresight to see the long-term goal, and also understand that appreciating the journey is more important than the end goal. The journey is, you want to become a journeyman, essentially, right? So look, the body game it can be used as bait and so much more. It's a power to it, if anything else. I hope this video helped y'all. You know what I mean? I know I kind of like went on some rabbit holes, but hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it helps somebody. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Drop below your comments. Let me know what you think. Your body game journey, what you're doing. You know what I mean? How it's going for you. Your body game experience with women. You know, let me know how it's going for you, right? Hey, don't forget to subscribe. Click the subscribe button below so you can get, you know, when I post new videos for y'all, right? And make sure to get this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, right? Anyways, it's your man Flexx. Be blessed. I'm out. Peace.